So welcome to phase one of a project, and I want to explain this to you so you can stick with the process. If you don't start with a game plan, you actually won't ever finish this. It'll take years. Most people take 3 years to get to the first half, get through the first half to where they can raise capital, and another 3 years to get it to market and then sold. I want to cut that down because I know I can show you programs to get stage 3 to stage 6 completed in 3 to 4 months, sometimes up to 6 months. But the early part, if you stick to a program, you can do that a lot earlier too. So first thing we have to do is, in phase one, it's called the modeling phase. So what we're looking at is we're building and testing what we have as an idea, not a prototype. What we want to do is wrap a commercial model around our idea to know that is the interface between what we've invented and who is going to buy it and what they're going to pay for it and how much they need it and what are they currently using, all the degrees of substitutability that goes with that, their propensity to pay so much for it, and what it's going to cost you, what your suppliers are selling you the components for, so there's enough margin in there. You have to use your pricing and your pricing and your costings to know how much is left in there for margin. And it's got to be a healthy margin if you've got layers of distributors and resellers in there as well. Okay, so the elements you need to tick off with this is, firstly, you need to get all of your non-disclosure agreements, confidentiality deeds, everything put away. So you need to open a file, which we'll call the due diligence file. And in there, at the very beginning, is non-disclosure confidentiality. So you have a lot of blank agreements, and you can write to me and ask, and I'll give you a general description of one, and you can then take that to your solicitors and get it done. I highly recommend you don't download them off the web and just hope for the best, because some of them are put up there by lawyers with the direct intention of being able to be sabotaged. So you've got to be careful of things like that. So certainly don't get them from IP help websites, because there's a lot of lawyers in there putting in some trapdoors. Okay, so once you've got all that, you've got everybody, including your staff, your contractors, they need to sign a waiver that says they don't have any rights to any of your intellectual property that's going to emerge from what they're doing, and they're getting paid for it. And you also have any contractors, any suppliers, and prospected buyers where you might have gone and tested something, and that you've talked about the product you need to disclose. Then they need to sign that. And if they don't, you need to walk away and go and get the next guy, because you can show them later on when you've got your provisional patent, but that's going to be quite a while away, because if you get the provisional patent early, yes, you can show them, but the clock is ticking. And unless you raise the money you need, you're not going to be able to get it done. So just be aware of that. Now, the outcomes of this phase is you have all of that confidentiality locked away. You have your sustainable competitive advantage listed. You have your pricing and costing and everything else, and worked out just what it is going to cost you and what you can sell it for. And finally, the final two items is you're going to need a proof of concept. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a nice polished product that gets tested to death, but you just need a proof of concept. So the concept has to be proven that it's going to work. So, and that's the model, proving the model just as much as the product or project or software or whatever it's going to be, the service even. So, and you also need an independent market validation. Don't cheat on this. Some people say, oh, well, I've got the market's worth $1 billion and I only want 1% of it, so that million of mine, or 10 million of mine, I should be able to get, and therefore it's worth, my product should be worth $3 billion, because 10 million should be able to get me 30 times that later on. And the mathematics just doesn't stack up. So what you're looking at is identify the people who are going to buy it. Let's say you're going to sell it to, well, the example I used in one of the others was I invent a wheel alignment machine. I want to sell it to tyre places. So I work out one tyre place with 20 outlets, 30 outlets, 10 outlets, and I know how many customers he's got, and I know what I'm going to be able to do the wheel alignments for, and I know it's going to be less than what he would otherwise get his wheel alignments done, and I'll make money, he'll make money, and I know that he can sell tyres on top of that. So he's a perfect guy to invest later on, but more importantly, I can calculate with him how much that market's worth for him, and therefore extrapolate it then nationally, globally, etc. So I can work with someone like that if he's under the confidentiality. He doesn't have to see a product or project yet. So I've got proof of concept. I've also got market validation. Market validation is far more precise than 10% of the market or 1% of the market. It's going to make you rich if you're talking to somebody who wants to invest. So just be careful you don't bite off too much. Keep it real. Get somebody else to do the market validation. There's plenty of people on the internet to do that for you, and they're good solid people working out of places like India, Philippines, where you can have a look at their previous work they've done. I tend to break down the market research into two. There's a secondary desktop research. That's where you're buying an industry report on, let's say, the tire industry in USA or America or Canada or wherever. Australia, Canada, wherever you want to locate yourself. Then that's the first market to start with, because it's going to be low-hanging fruit, easy to get. So that's the first secondary desktop research. The primary research is where you partner up with someone and say, okay, what is this going to be worth to you? Okay, let's discount that for risk, which you need to do. And sometimes the risk might be 75% or even 80% that you discount, and then you can work out, can we make money on this? Then it's worth going forward. At that point there, you've done the first phase, and you've probably passed the roadblocks that we talked about with the modelling. So now I'll get on to the next video. Stay tuned and watch for the next one when that drops. Thank you.